like
I see there's some people popping in.
seems like we're gonna learn a lot of things from you. So I guess we can start
Well,
the
yeah, we'll see where the energy goes today and what we end up talking about. It's I think this is a great start. We're already calling in those beautiful Egyptian energies and we're calling in this the unity and the oneness consciousness. So I think nothing's a mistake that the fact that you chose that photograph of me standing and I think I want to say that was one of the Isis. It might have been, it was either one of the Isis temples or it could have been perhaps the temple at Dendera, which is the Hathor temple, which was my favorite temple that I visited. The energy there, the temple was, Hathor was, they call her, she's sort of like the extraterrestrial goddess in a sense, because she has this, like, if you look at the images of her, she looks very alien and she's a version of divine mother energy and she is just the star mother. I think that's what they call her. And so she's the goddess of creativity, music, pleasure, joy, all of these different things. And when you went through the temple, you could feel the joy. The energy was so palpable that I was actually dancing as I was walking through the temple because I was just, the energy was sort of flowing through. I got the most powerful activations there. And in one of the temples, they actually had an ancient astrological wheel, one of the first astrological wheels carved into the ceiling. It was really powerful. So there's so much. It's amazing how these locations can still hold that energy. And so I shared a photograph of the temple, a couple of the temple ceilings where I received these activations for I have a YouTube channel. And so for in the community tab for people, and people actually felt and received some of the activations just from looking at the photographs because the energy was that powerful in some of these places. So it's beautiful. And when we are connected to people and our soul groups and our energies and we visit these places, we activate everybody. It's like everybody receives that energy and the whole collective receives it, right? Because we're all connected. So yeah, powerful stuff. I highly recommend traveling to Egypt or any of these sacred locations. I think Machu Picchu is one of my next ones and Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta.
Ooh.
Well, actually, like I said, Sedona is one of my next ones again, but after that.
All right. So let me just introduce you quickly. By the way, you guys, my name is Blaze and I'm Jen's assistant. Currently, Jen is in Hawaii and she's learning about plant medicine and how to brew it herself. So she won't be here with us today, but I'm sure she's here in spirits. And so today we'll have Kasha, and she's a cosmic liberation coach who helps light workers break free from fear, scarcity, and limitations so that they can fully step into their power and create the life that they are meant to live. She overcame heroin addiction in 2011 and went through her own healing process, which was deep. She learned that healing is not a simple mental process, but actually involves letting go of emotional and energetic blocks. So she worked with practices like EFT tapping, Reiki, and Belvaspata, which is a heart healing method. And she's now using her skills and wisdom to help her clients experience major life transformations. She loves guiding
For you?
others. She grows and heals alongside them. And for her, watching her clients' inner light grow is the best reward. I think that is the best reward. And she shares her knowledge in her YouTube channel where she talks about current energies that are helping with a collective spiritual awakening, as what she's mentioned earlier. Also, her bigger goal is to bring together healers and intuitives to support each other, believing that when individual lights unite, they can light up the entire universe. So, here I bring you Kasha. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. And I love how you use the original pronunciation of my name, Kasha. So that's the root of where my name comes from. And I say Kassia, but I love Kassia too. And I appreciate that you did that. That's really beautiful. And you actually pronounce Belvaspata better than anybody. Some of my students even can't pronounce it as closely to how it's said as you did. So thank you, Blaze. That was beautiful.
I'm
Yeah.
familiar with the tree acacia, and so it's called
Mm.
acacia here in the Philippines. And so I think that's the only way I know how to pronounce it. Anyways,
Oh, I love that. And it's so funny that we were talking about Egypt and the acacia tree. I think that's or acacia tree. That's one of the healing trees that I believe we had outside of some of the temples. I might be mistaken, but it feels like it. But I love that energy, bringing through all of these different things. I want to, before we get started, just all of us take a moment and just settle into our heart space. I've already called upon all of the beautiful benevolent beings who support our collective ascension and who support the particular collective that will be viewing this, everyone that's present right now, everybody who will be watching this on the replay, to send through beautiful healing energies in perfect accordance with our own soul's blueprint and our higher self's will, to assist us in moving through whatever processes we move through today, however it is that we move through these, whether it's through talking about the astrology, whether it's through processing anything that we're moving through, anything that comes up. As we're moving through this process, just assisting us in lightening our spirits, receiving whatever it is that we're meant to receive, and just taking a moment to connect with each other in this beautiful space, to align with our hearts and our souls, as that is so much about what the energies that we're moving through right now are all about, that beautiful soul alignment. To tap into the beauty of who we are. These beautiful infinite sparks of creation. And setting a collective intention together that we all receive exactly what we are meant to receive today, individually and together as a collective of beautiful, empowered, divine feminines. Knowing, of course, that we possess divine masculine and feminine energy within us. Setting the intention that we are able to access the deepest and most beautiful parts of ourselves, and that we receive all of the messages and all of the beautiful divine energies that are most meant for us at this time, individually and as a collective group. As I was preparing for this session today, I was outside communing with my trees. I have some beautiful trees on my property. I very, very much love the trees. I have some beautiful maple trees and pine trees. And as I placed my hand on the maple tree, there was a cicada. How they have the shell that they leave behind. And cicadas have been coming to me a lot over the past, well, really since the weather was appropriate for them earlier this year. And they're a powerful symbol of transformation and regeneration. And it felt so aligned with everything that we're going to talk about today, or at least what I know that we're going to talk about, because that is what we're going through. We're going through a profound transformation as a collective and as individuals right now. And I love how this call today is happening really just days before we have the lunar eclipse in Pisces, because that energy it's all about soul alignment, and it's all about releasing and letting go and stepping more deeply into the next version of ourselves that's ready to be birthed, that's ready to be born. And that energy of forgiveness and letting go was what came to me this morning when I was preparing for this session. It's not just forgiveness of others, it's self-forgiveness as well. So there's this beautiful healing that happens when we're able to step into that energy. And forgiveness is really the most powerful process of letting go. Right? When we don't hold on anymore to the pain, to the trauma, to the stories. This eclipse season is very much about releasing the stories. And I'm going to show you the chart, and I had people who were able download their natal charts if you wanted to have an opportunity to kind of look at where this was going on for you personally. But it's with that, the Neptunian energy, and I'll show you the chart here. Let me share my screen so that you can see a little bit what I'm talking about. There we go. So we have this this beautiful chart here for those who want to sort of take in the energy of that. But it's releasing all of what we are not. It's this recognition that these stories that we tell ourselves and these experiences, and as we're moving through this energy, we're not just releasing stories and ways of identifying ourselves, particularly when we identify with our pain, particularly when we identify with these aspects that aren't really the truth of who we are, right? They're experiences that we have grown through, experiences that have taught us and helped us to evolve, but they're not really who we are. And these experiences and these stories and these storylines, right? I mean, they go back lifetimes and lifetimes, and you can see in this chart. And it's not necessary to really know how to read a natal chart to be able to sort of feel the energies of it, where we have the moon here. With this is a symbol for Neptune here. And we have this beautiful meeting of energies, this combining of energies here, along with the North Node here, which represents our life path. It represents our Dharma, how it is that we're wanting to move forward and grow, and how we can best expand into this next, like the energy that's necessary that will really catalyze our growth in this lifetime. So as a collective, we've been working with this energy in Aries. And we're coming to a completion of this as we move through September and the rest of this year. This is a powerful, powerful energy of completion. And we're working with the energies of 9, with the energies of September. And the 9 energies are about completion too. So it's really beautiful how we can see just this evidenced over and over again, all the powerful cycles that we're closing out. When Blaze was introducing me, she mentioned that I am a recovering heroin addict. And so it's really interesting to understand our journeys within these cycles. So that journey actually began for me in 2011 when Neptune entered Pisces. It was actually 11-11-11 was my first, well, 11-10-11 was the last time that I put narcotics into my body, and 11-11-11 was sort of my rebirthing day. And I had no idea the significance of that number when it happened. I just remember thinking, oh, wow, that's interesting. That's a lot of 11s. Like, I don't think that, I don't think that happens a lot. Like, that's pretty cool. And now I see it, 11-11 is known as the awakening code, right? So there's a powerful awakening there and a powerful shift. And it's interesting when we can apply that to our personal planets as well, because I had transits going on with my personal Neptune as well during that time. So it was like Neptune brings us into deeper alignment with our souls. It represents a powerful aspect of our higher self and our soul energy, as well as the collective consciousness and our connection to that. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful energy that we're working with. And Neptune is completing a cycle that began in 2011 right now. In March, Neptune's going to move into Aries, which is going to be a really, really potent energy. Really empowering for light workers, I feel, for starseeds. empowering us to really step into our spiritual energy, step into our spiritual calling. And that's a lot of what this eclipse season and all of 2024 really has been about. 2024 is a leap year. And leap years there's actually special significance to that term and that energy, because we take quantum leaps forward through timelines when we experience these leap years. And 2024 has been an especially powerful one. So as we're moving through the second half of eclipse season here, we are quite literally eclipsing out that old timeline. And the timeline meaning the version of reality that we're experiencing. And it's this idea that there are infinite versions of us existing simultaneously. Every time we make a choice or a decision, the timeline or the reality where we made a different decision is also birthed. And every possible version of us is existing all at once. And so when we shift timelines, what that means is that we're shifting into another reality, another version of ourselves, having a different experience. And we actually do this all day long. It's just most of the time, these are kind of like micro shifts where the realities we're shifting into are so similar to the one that we're already existing in that we don't even notice that we shifted. But sometimes we take these quantum leaps forward. And that's what we've been doing collectively as well as individually this year. We've been moving towards that highest version of us, that most, what I like to call like our most organic timeline. And this is really, really powerful because we are in this process right now as a collective of ascending into a higher level of consciousness, another higher dimension of being. Higher not meaning better, just meaning different, meaning a different frequency, right? This is all about the frequency that we emit, the level of consciousness that we're operating from. And for a lot of people, it looks like a lot of chaos. And for the world in general right now, it looks like a lot of chaos. But all of that chaos is building to something really beautiful. And so this year for a lot of people, I think, has been a year of great change, even if it hasn't necessarily all rippled out yet. Internally, we can feel it. This way that we've been shifting, this way that we've been moving, just like this eclipse shows with this moon Neptune energy, right? We've been moving in the direction of where our souls will say that highest timeline. So that would mean when our soul set out on this incarnation, on this lifetime, and created a plan or a blueprint, if you will, for what it wanted to experience, how it wanted to grow, how we wanted to grow, right? Because we are our higher selves. We're aligning most powerfully with that most organic and most beautiful timeline or version of reality for that, because there's lots of different ways that we can grow. We can get it. It's sort of like we can imagine an infinite amount of possibilities that all lead to the same ultimate destination. And so it's like, how do we get to that destination and what does that journey look like? And so this is what Spirit wants us to know and understand, is like, this is one of those points. And every moment is a point for this. There are just windows where the energy more strongly supports it, right? Where we get to choose what route we want to take and how quickly we want to get there. Remember, this is a quantum leap year. That means if we are willing and able to let go of all those old stories and all of those versions of ourselves that are ready to be shed, the way the cicada on my tree shed its skin that I saw this morning, we can take those massive leaps forward. And so it's releasing the conditioning and the belief systems. And this is some of the stuff that I help people work through and work with, right? Because it's so important. There's so many ways that we were conditioned through this lifetime, through past lifetimes, through the experiences, also through society. And the world is designed essentially, or it was. I'll say was because we're shifting into a brand new paradigm, a brand new version of Earth. The past Earth, the Earth that we're shifting out of, over time began to be designed to kind of hold us back from our evolution. And you can look at it in one way as like, and this is a major theme as we're working with these Pisces energies, which Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. This eclipse is happening in Pisces. It's this energy of powerlessness and victimhood and rising up out of that energy. So it's like we can look at that design as holding us back and like, how dare they? Or we can look at this like, wow, what a wonderful opportunity to really step into my power and remember who I am. Right? There's so much growth necessary in order to align with this highest version of ourselves and to recognize the programming and begin that process of breaking free. And like when I say I'm a cosmic liberation coach, what that means is that I help people set themselves free. That's the simplest way of putting it. That's what we're all here to do, to set ourselves free, to step into our sovereignty as souls and really begin taking creative control of this reality. Really begin shifting through those timelines, aligning with that highest version of ourselves through our vibration, through our thoughts and our words, and through our actions as well. Taking those actions that are aligned with that highest version of ourselves that we're moving into. And there's a lot of that energy that's being supported right now, not only by this beautiful eclipse with this Neptunian Piscean energy conjunct the North Node, but also by all of the outer planets and these powerful cycles of closure that they're completing right now. We have Pluto completing a 16-year cycle in Capricorn. That began in 2008, really assisting us in stepping into our power, stepping into our sovereignty, recognizing where we've given our power away and why it is that we did that, why it is that we allowed that, the institutions that we've given our power away to, all of these, crumbling down all of these structures and really calling us to step into our own inner authority. We have Uranus, we have Uranus completing a cycle that began in 2018. And we're going to have Pluto completing his cycle in November, moving into Aquarius firmly. The other two, Uranus and Neptune, are going to be completing their cycles next year and then officially in 2026, because there's going to be a retrograde period. So they're going to move into the next sign and then retrograde back and then move back in again. So it's this beautiful dance that's clearing and closing out these energies. But that cycle with Uranus and Taurus began in 2018. And that was assisting us in revolutionizing the way that we value ourselves, what the other things that we value, what holds meaning to us, what's important to us, as well as our money systems and our relationship to the energy of money. How it is that we seek abundance, what it is that abundance means to us. So there's a lot of powerful themes and energies here. We have all of these beautiful energies that you see down here in Libra as well. And with the second eclipse, which is going to be very similar to this one, except we're going to have the sun and Mercury moved over into Libra with the moon as well. So we're going to have a whole lot of Libra energy going on. And that's going to be closing out those old relational templates and moving us into a higher form of relationship with others. So there's a big energy here once again, and we see not only the energy of boundaries, the energy of knowing our worth, the need for integrity and reciprocity in relationship coming through, but we also, once again, like, I'm being called back to that energy of forgiveness. Because in order to have harmonious relationships with ourselves as well as others, that's a necessary component. That's a necessary ability, if you will, for us to possess. And it's a powerful thing to cultivate, this energy of forgiveness, right? So that's going to continue to be a theme here. And I want to see if anyone is interested or willing in the chat, like, let me know if forgiveness is a relevant theme for you and something that's striking a chord as we're talking about it. Put a 1 in the chat and let me know that that's something that you've been working through, or that you're feeling a calling within your heart to explore. Yeah. And this forgiveness, like it goes deeper than just relationships. For some of us, with this highly spiritual component here, it's like we're forgiving society, we're forgiving the world sometimes, we're forgiving spirit, right? Like sometimes because of these are powerful past life wounds that are coming up here as well. So it's when we have these lifetimes where we have been, especially those lifetimes, and this is, the healer's wound that we talk about here, as we're stepping into our power and holding our light, learning how to hold our light, right, and shine that light in the world. We have these instances from past lives and this collective trauma surrounding the times that we were harmed, the times that we were ridiculed, the times that we were cast aside and cast away for expressing the beauty of who we were, for sharing our healing gifts, for sharing our insights and our inspirations. And when we've had this and we've had all these other traumas, lifetime after lifetime, sometimes there's this frustration with spirit, with source, with God, creator, whatever you want to call that energy, where we're like, why have you allowed this? Why have I been through all this? Where were you? And so many of us are working through that as well. It's like forgiving source, forgiving spirit, forgiving our own souls sometimes, right? Our higher selves, because we know that our higher selves chose this lifetime and we're like, why did you do this to me? Like, what are we doing right now? And it's like at the end, ultimately, we begin to understand why we went through all the things that we went through. But as we're going through, and not always, some things remain a mystery, right? Many things we do begin to understand, but it's that in the moment, right? It can be really, really hard. Being human can be really, really hard. And that's why we chose it. But it's like there's knowing that and there's feeling that and accepting that, right? And that's a big part of what this energy is. So one of the channelings that Spirit brought through regarding this energy that we're moving through was the importance of being what I like to call fully incarnated. And that's where we are fully anchored in this experience of being human, not looking to escape it for something else, but really fully accepting and anchoring into this experience and loving it, loving the highs, loving the lows, loving every expression of it. Spirit once told me two things. One thing was that acceptance is the energy of alchemy. So until we accept something, we can't alchemize it. We cannot shift it, right? Because when we're railing against it, we're resisting it and we're just cementing that energy in more. And also that the way that we transcend the third dimension is through loving it completely. And I was like, well, great. I guess I'll be here for a while then, but when we practice this, we start to be able to embody it more and to really connect to this and remember that Lightworkers, which, are probably most of the people that we're all light workers, right? Everybody's a light worker, whether they recognize it and consciously work with it or not, right? Like we came here to bring heaven to earth, but we don't bring earth to heaven by trying to escape earth. We bring earth to heaven by being here completely and calling through that energy. And so this eclipse is about releasing and eclipsing out more of what has stood in the way of us really embodying our higher selves and aligning with our higher selves on a deeper level. And in a sense, also being fully incarnated, because Pisces energy represents the 12th house. It represents the collective. But the opposing energy of Virgo is an earth sign. It's very rooted and grounded here. And so the Pisces Virgo axis is about bringing this together, connecting these energies, the spiritual and the practical, bringing the spiritual into everything we do and seeing everything that we experience as a spiritual experience, because we are spiritual beings. We cannot have any other kind of experience. We're spiritual beings. Everything is spiritual. It's just we tend to put things in boxes and say, well, this is spiritual. That's not. This is 3D. This is 5D. This is this. This is that. So it's bringing all of that together. And forgiveness, I know I saw somebody in the chat mentioning that forgiveness it's been very challenging, very hard. And it's true, it can absolutely be, because there's this aspect of us that feels as though forgiving somebody means that we are saying that what happened was okay. And we understand, and we talk about this, and you guys, anything that I'm going to say right now, you already know, and you've already heard 1,000 times, right? We've all heard people talk about how it's really about setting ourselves free, how it's releasing all of the emotions and the energy that's really weighing us down. But even knowing that, and this is the major energy, one of the biggest energies, and this is what my first mentor, his biggest mission when working with me is to get me out of the head and into the heart. Because we know all this stuff within our minds, but like really integrating it and feeling it in our hearts is a completely different thing. It's a completely different energy. So before we get into everyone's charts and we start kind of looking at these energies and how they could be playing out for people, I want to invite everyone to take a moment to just really connect with your heart space, to close your eyes and breathe into that heart space, and to find that place within you. Ask your higher self to show you where that experience, the pain or trauma of that experience for which you are desiring to learn how to experience and practice forgiveness, where does that live within your body? Just breathe into that space. Wherever that is within you. And you may not know at first, so just take some time to feel into it. Just take some time to breathe. Imagine as you're breathing that you're being surrounded by this beautiful love light Merkaba, the 8-pointed star, 2 triangles, one pointing up, drawing in energy, one pointing down, releasing energy, intersecting around your body, holding you in safety. Imagine that this Merkaba is filled with the most beautiful golden light. This light is healing. And this light will go wherever it is needed within your body. Wherever you need that extra love. Wherever you need that extra assistance. Call your higher self into this space with you, knowing that your higher self is you, so it's always connected to you. You are a part, a fractal of that beautiful higher self. Allow your higher self to direct you, to assist you, and allowing the energy to flow wherever it is it needs to flow. Wherever it is that you're holding on to that pain, to that story, to that experience, that anger, resentment, frustration. Know and understand that letting that go doesn't make you weaker, it only makes you stronger. Allow yourself to feel sad. If you need to feel sad, allow yourself to feel the pain, acknowledge that pain. It's okay that you feel that. It's normal. Who wouldn't? You're completely justified in feeling that. And if there's any shame or guilt around the pain or the resentment or the anger, frustration that you may feel, set that intention to release that judgment for your higher self to assist you in releasing that judgment. So many of us in our spiritual awakening, we feel as though we're meant to be at peace with everything. We're meant to let everything go. We're meant to be all love light all the time. And when we feel these lower emotions, what we would call lower vibrational emotions, right? Really just energies. When we feel these energies, sometimes we start to judge ourselves. Why do I still feel that? Why can't I let that go? I shouldn't be angry, right? So I invite you to let go of all of that judgment as well. There is absolutely nothing, no rule that says that we are less evolved if we feel anger. It doesn't mean that you're not doing your work, as a lot of people like to say in the spiritual community, right? Feeling that is actually doing the work. Allowing that to be there, accepting that that exists, and it's okay. It's okay if you're still not able to move past something that happened, something that somebody did or said. It's okay. And as we're moving through this exercise, you don't have to forgive. You may find that that energy of forgiveness begins to come, but if it doesn't, that's okay too. It's a process. Everything is a process. Grief is a process. Loss is a process. Self-love is a process. Just allow that energy to move to wherever it is that you're holding these emotions within you, and just allow it to be there, to be present in that space, to fill that space with love. Allow the anger, the frustration, the resentment to exist, and allow the love to exist there too. Just continue breathing in this energy. Breathing in and breathing out. Continuing to breathe in and allow the healing, however that looks for you, not trying to judge what it should look like or feel like, just allowing it to feel how it feels. And release whatever wants to go, whatever wants to be released as you exhale. Perhaps you want to try placing a hand on your heart and another on your stomach, and breathe like this, circulating the energy. It'll happen naturally. You don't have to try to direct it. Just breathe into it. Breathe in the energy of unconditional love from your higher self, from spirit. Know that your higher self, spirit, is like a mother, right? Even when her child is mad at her, mother loves her child completely. The highest vibration of the mother energy, right? loves the child, even when the child is angry, even when the child does something that hurts her, when they don't listen. Allow your soul to hold space for you. Allow Divine Mother to hold space for you, to simply be where you're at in your process, to simply feel the way that you feel and know that that's okay. Really, the best way that we can maximize any of the energies that we're moving through is to just be okay with where we're at right now, and to accept where we're at right now, and to feel what it is that we feel without judging it, but not judging ourselves if we do judge it, right? Continue to allow that energy to just move through and gently be present in those spaces in your body where that pain and that sadness resides. And you may notice it growing a little bit softer. You may notice it doesn't feel as empty if it felt empty before. And know that you can continue to work with this energy anytime you like. And know that if there's a moment where you're feeling overwhelming anxiety or frustration, where these emotions are coming up, anywhere that you are, just place a hand on your heart and a hand on your stomach and breathe. And tell yourself, it's okay. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Feel as your body tightens maybe, but then maybe begins to relax and soften. No, maybe one last deep breath in and then breathe it out. Maybe shake your body out a little bit, move your body, feel that energy moving through. It's another great tool that we forget sometimes is the energy of movement. How amazing it feels to just kind of stretch and move your body the way it wants to move that energy through. Anytime we do energy work, it's really great to just kind of move the body afterwards, to move that energy through, to integrate that energy. How did that feel for everyone? Good, yeah. Yeah, and we did, at the end there, a little bit of the Ho'oponopono Hawaiian forgiveness prayer. And that alone can be a really beautiful, especially with the hands, the hand on the heart and the hand on the stomach. So work with some of that. If any of that resonated for you, use some of those as tools to to begin processing and further accepting, right? Embracing whatever's coming up, this full moon, this eclipse, Pisces, Neptune and the moon. It's going to be emotional. We're going to be feeling it. We're going to be, part of how we're moving through this energy is by feeling it and allowing ourselves to feel it. So it's really, really important that we do that, and that we allow for that, and that we let it come, you know. Water. So one of the most powerful, one of the modalities that I practice is aura hypnosis healing. It's a past life regression, quantum healing modality. And in one of the sessions that I did, there was this, and it's actually on my YouTube channel, a recording of part of the session. My client went back to when she was a mermaid in Lemuria, and she was talking about the power and the energy of the water. And something that came through was the energy of even tears, right? When we cry, the water that we're releasing from our eyes, there's a reason that water comes out. It's that cleansing and the purification. And so it's like, allow that to purify you. If you are feeling emotional and you need to cry, you need to go by some running water, you know, allow the water to wash over you. Work with the element of water any way that you can. And when that water comes out of your body, just let it and thank it, because that is cleansing us. That is a way that we're releasing these energies. Because when we talk about all of this, I think something that we forget sometimes, because we're such an analytical race, right? There's so much going on with the minds all the time. We think that we have to consciously work through all of this and figure it all out. It's organically happening. This is happening for each and every single one of us. Any past life memories we need to access, we will access. Any of these traumas, we will access them. And sometimes we won't even know we're doing it, because it'll just come through a wave of emotion. So when we move through that emotion, we're doing all of this. There's so much more happening than what we realize. Even if, you know, it's triggered by something, you know, we're watching a sad movie and all of a sudden we get way sadder than it really makes sense for what we're watching. It's because all of that energy is coming out. It's just allowing that release. So we don't need to know why. We just need to allow ourselves to feel it, allow it to be there. And this is a real invitation to step out of that analytical mind and to just be present with ourselves, with our bodies, with our emotions, and allow that organic process to occur. And so we will post, or Blaze or myself will post in the, probably Blaze, I'm guessing, but we'll post in the group the links for the different things. So that'll include the link for the soul alignment meditation for anyone who wants that, as well as it's going to have my email address and my website where you can look at the different things that I offer. And so it'll be 17% off any service, or I'm doing the special for the combination for the astrology reading and the energy healing session, and that's going to be for $155. It's for about a 90-minute session. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with anyone who's guided to connect more deeply. And thank you so much for having me here. It was beautiful. You're all incredible. Everybody watching this on the replays, we're sending you so much love as well, for anyone who's going to check it out. And of course, all the same invitations are extended to you all. But it was great to have everybody live here and have this beautiful energy and be able to connect. And yeah, let's do a final before we go. Just tap into that heart space one more time. Take a deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. Collective sigh. Thank our higher selves. Thank each other's higher selves. Set that collective intention that all the beautiful energies that we discussed today continue to unfold in perfect alignment with our higher selves, that our higher selves support each other in this journey, and that thank them for all the healing energies that we received today, with the intention that they all integrate in perfect divine timing with ease and grace. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your light with us, Kasha. Until
Yes.
next.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you. And thank you for all of you, because I know you're all out there shining your light too. And this is what makes this change that we're talking about in the world, is just us being willing to show up and being willing to do that. And all the different ways, all the different levels and layers of vulnerability that takes, and all the strength required for that. So I honor that beauty, that strength, that resilience, and that light within each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Have a
much.
great day. It was so great to see everybody. Bye.
Same.
Hey,
Okay.
bye.